welcome to Lights on LA. I'm your host, Louise Gill, and I'm here with Karina Gonzalez, Services Manager for Domestic Violence. How are you?
I'm good. Happy to be here.
I am very happy to have you. Domestic violence is something that I believe is on the uproar, and it is wonderful that YWCA has a Hallmark program. How long has this program been initiated?
We've been here for a long time. The domestic violence program, we've been offering it for, I believe, more than 20 years. So we're here supporting the women in our community who are either fleeing from domestic violence, are suffering effects, are still living with the abuser and are not sure what to do. And so we're dedicated to providing them access to resources to make better decisions.
What kind of resources, first of all, do you have? What kind of training, obviously, do your advocates and interns have?
The types of services that we offer are assessment, intake. Essentially, when somebody comes in with a problem, we give them a case manager who is a 40-hour domestic violence certified person and advocate who has taken a training with us to understand the needs of domestic violence, and particularly what would somebody who is coming from a domestic violence background, what kind of services they would need or what type of approaches they would need. We do regular trainings with them to give them some more support in understanding what we know about the domestic violence victim and how they would react and how they would respond and how we can provide our care for them. So a lot of our case managers are social workers with a social worker or human services background, but that's part of our program. It's kind of where it starts. Once they make the assessment as to what they need to either leave the home or to be self-sufficient or move on, then we include the rest of the team. We have a legal team. We have a wonderful staff attorney, Lucy, who helps us with either immigration support. Sometimes the women get arrested because of the impact wounds that the aggressor would have because they fought back, and so she helps them out with that. Divorce. Sometimes that's the option. They need to kind of separate assets, and so that's what our legal team does. We have another support team, which is our counseling department, and so the women are encouraged to take counseling and work on what are the issues, what are the things that they have to overcome, what are the things that they have to heal from, and so our counseling department is awesome.
And also they don't feel like they're alone.
And they don't feel that they're alone,
when there's other women, and how's the confidentiality? Because I know that
we're huge on confidentiality. Anything that somebody comes in, whether you're inquiring about a question or whether you're a client of ours, we don't talk about you. We don't talk about your case to anybody outside of the DV team or anybody that would come and ask. We have this phrase, I cannot confirm or deny about anything with any client. So we're big on that. Our director, who's awesome, is also very big about making sure that we have confidentiality. We have strict guidelines for that. So we're protected under the 1037 law, which protects advocates, so to be able to offer these services without violating confidentiality.
Now, one question that I have, how does your domestic violence program work? Now, for example, if it was a victim, do you require them to have a police report first and then they could come to you, or they could just come to you regardless of the fact that they have a police report? Regardless
of the fact. We have victims who call and have reports, and then it helps. And we have victims that come and they just want to explore. We have victims who think that they're victims, and then they come and take some classes, and then they realize that they are. It really doesn't matter. We're not an agency that seeks to go after aggressors. We're here to support the women in whatever they feel they need. So the women that come here, or the clients that come here, because we're open to anybody, they kind of set the tone for what they want. We give them options. We tell them these are the different ways or these are the different things that you can do, but they lead it. Because domestic violence is about power and control, we want to give back that power and control. So you have to make the decision. You tell us where you want the team to go and how we can support you within our capabilities to do. So, I mean, we would love that things turn out their way and that we can prosecute somebody and that they can get financial stability. But for the most part, what they want is to just regain their lives and have some control.
That's very true. I do believe from our last episode when we were talking to Lisa Raggio, we were discussing the fact that you do have a facility here that is a safe house You also have something which was really important to me, and I'm sure to our viewers, is the children, because they get impacted very much. And I believe you have counselors for the children. You also have somewhere that they could stay and, you know, be.
We, our mission is to service victims and their children. And the children a lot of times are the bystanders, and they're the ones that sometimes are directly affected because they're part of the abuse, and sometimes they're indirectly affected, meaning that they may not get abused physically, but seeing it is also
Emotionally.
abusive. So we make sure that we try to help the children as much as we can. We do have a child care program here. We focus on helping with development of social skills, helping with exploratory of their feelings. We do provide counseling for them as well. So we do look at how the kids are impacted. We provide child care assistance for the victims while they're in classes here or while they're taking programs here. And while they're in our care, then we take that opportunity to say, what do you need? What's going on with you?
Right.
We observe them, and sometimes we link them to the mom, and we share with her, did you know that this is what he's expressing? Did you know that this is what he's saying? And then we heal the family. We have this secondhand trauma. Even us talking about it right now, we change the way we feel.
Of course.
You know, and so
it impacts.
Right.
It leaves a huge impact on people, regardless. Even for the counselors, I'm sure it's very difficult.
It is. So we're big on self-care here. We're very big about, you know, take your breaks, talk. We work with the team to make sure that we're all okay. We're very close to make sure that we're watching each other. At the same time, we model for the mothers or for the clients that come to see us what they should be doing with their kids. So if I'm hurting, what's going on with my child?
Right.
And what do they need? And if they model that they get care, then the kids understand that they need care too. So it's
with domestic violence, I know that you have different ethnic backgrounds, and I know that, do you have it, first of all, since we are on AMGA and it's an Armenian TV show, do you have Armenian counselors, Armenian help, you know, translators? You do have Armenian staff.
We do. We do have Armenian staff. We do have Armenian counselors. We're a multicultural center, so we take people from all different walks of life. Because we're in Glendale, we have two very high populations, the Latino community and the Armenian community.
Right.
But we definitely service whoever needs the support, and we'll figure out either we can help them out or we link them to the right service because of the language barriers. But primarily, we're pretty multicultural. We have a variety of different kinds of people that come and see us and get help. But for the Armenian community, we definitely have a program, and we're definitely here to support them. So.
Now, out of curiosity, I know that I used to work for the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office, and I was on their Victim Witness Assistance Program, specializing in DV and elder abuse. At that time, and this was in '94, Armenians were not that confident that anything would help, and it wasn't as publicized, or as, wrong word to say, as popular, but now people I have seen in the Armenian community, they're more aware of it, and they are coming to do something about it. Whereas before it was more hidden, a shame. I'm sure it is still to a certain degree, and I know a lot of them were, when, even with the police department, they used to come and we used to have to translate. They would try to, they want to scare, and then, but they don't want to prosecute.
Right.
Do you come across that?
We do, and you know, knowledge is power, because I mean, I've been here for 4 years, and I totally get where you're coming from. And it's not just for the Armenian community. That happens with a lot of the other communities, where it's like, if I scare my abuser, then is that going to make him change? And there's that hope.
And I don't think it will.
No, and the thing is that we have two cycles that go on simultaneously. The one cycle of violence that people are pretty aware of. You know, we have the tension building, where we're not sure what's going to happen. You have the impact, where something happens, and then you have the honeymoon, where the abuser then kind of gets you back into the mode of getting there. But emotionally, there's another cycle that's going on. You know, the hope, the fear, the love. And so we hope that they change. We hope that they do better. We hope that they'll see the goodness in us and in our families, and that they'll want to. And we love them. It starts with love, you know.
Of
We
course.
fall in love, and then that fear of what am I going to do, what's going to happen to me, what's going to go. And so there's kind of two cycles moving side by side. And so with this community, knowledge is power with any community. And so the more that we talk about it, and the more that we've exposed ourselves and shared with different communities and made presentations and did outreach, the more we trained our staff to help guide for those feelings, then the more empowered the women started to feel. And
Sometimes
so then,
I do believe also
Yeah.
that having them being more aware of it
Mhm.
doesn't necessarily mean that they need to be prosecuted, but
No.
just the knowledge that you are giving,
Yes.
and numerous other organizations that are starting to implement
Mhm.
domestic violence.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was like a voodoo to talk about
Right.
domestic
Right,
violence,
right.
and it was embarrassing.
Right.
But now I know that there's a lot of outreach programs out
Mhm.
there that the Armenian community as well as the Latinos are doing.
Mhm.
Because, of course, we as women, you know, we put a lot into family, we
Mhm.
put into our marriage, we put
Mhm.
into business, we work.